Come with me and you will see all the things that we find in the trash. It's garbage picking time. Oh man, we're on the home stretch. We're gonna be starting to paint. Yippee! Dogas! Well, here we go again, using the Rustoleum Paint. We are continuing to advance, and we are on the home stretch. And I'll try not to get it on my car there in the background. The wind was blowing away from the car, so we were good to go. As you can see where the spray pattern is going. So I just did this outside. The first coat's really light, and then each coat afterwards you get thicker and thicker. So, you know, I don't know how much of this you actually want to see as I paint this, because it's probably kind of boring. Maybe a little bit like watching golf or something, where the Pirates lose. But, you know, hey. And I'm just painting the underside first, because once we get done with the underside, I probably have to wait a couple hours and we'll flip it over. And when I flip it over, it's going to make a couple little, probably scratches on the underside. So once, you know, we do the other side, then we'll flip it back over and we'll patch up as little tiny divots made by the horses, you know. So that's why I'm doing the bottom first, if that makes any sense. Okay, after I finish that, we'll put that in the garage and let that dry overnight. I guess this is the next day, and I'm going to flip that over and then start painting on the finished side. And, you know, and we just kind of keep plugging along here. Just paint all day long. Paint when I sing this song. And, you know, first coat's always the lightest coat. You just want to get it started and get it bonding really well to the primer. And then, you know, wait 15 minutes and put another light coat. Wait another 15 minutes, put another light coat.
Goodness gracious, I'm starting to fall asleep already. Let's put this on the high speed. Just get it over with already. We're almost there.
So these came out both pretty good. I did them both. I'm only going to show the one when I painted. Here's the top side. But now I want to do these two-tone. And, you know, from some of the gliders I've seen that had multiple colors on them, I just think that looks pretty awesome. So instead of like all blue, we're just going to go with the blue and white. So you know what I talked about earlier. So to do that, you know, now that we've painted both sides blue, we're going to start taping it up. And I've sped this video up because, you know, again, it's a long process of taping this up. And I just have a, you know, roll of paper here. And we're just going to carefully tape up each square. And this is being really careful because you want to have like really straight lines. And again, I let this dry for a day. I had it out in the sun for, you know, a good half of the day. So the sun kind of just baked everything and gave it a nice cook. I guess it cooked the paint. So, you know, when it's time to tape up, everything was dry and ready to go. And so, you know, here we're just taping everything up. It's lovely. Or taping. It's actually called masking. That's the proper term. We're masking. And the parts that you see that is showing is what we're actually going to paint over. So this came out really good. And here we go. We're putting on the white. It's the same brand paint. You definitely want to make sure when you're painting to use all like the same brand. That way you don't get like reaction between the two paints when they come together. But here I'm just the Rustoleum, same stuff. It's in white. That 2X primer paint, or what's that, enamel. And here we go. And this, where we have, obviously where we have it taped, there will be no paint, so that'll be blue. And where we don't have it taped, there will be paint, which will be white. This should look pretty epic. It'll make it really pop. When you do like multiple colors like this, it'll really make this piece pop. And now for the big reveal. Now I let this dry for about 20 minutes because you want to peel this stuff off when the paint's tacky. That way you don't have the risk of, you know, pulling up the paint you just painted. So that's kind of the one of the tricks. You just want to make sure you're still tacky when you're pulling the tape off. And here we go. It's going to look awesome. And let's do the big reveal on this back piece. And as you can see, it's looking spectacular. Check it out. Haha, that looks flippin' tastic, let me tell you. And that's freaking awesome. And I am just finishing up painting that one, and tomorrow we'll do the same thing. So I started on the bottom piece, same process. I'm actually reusing a lot of the masking material because it's almost the same size. So I'm just reapplying it to the new one, or to the bottom piece. In the next scene, I'm going to skip over to after I finish painting. I didn't feel like painting this one too. Kind of gets a little repetitious. And let's reveal what this bottom piece looks like. As you can see, oh my goodness, it looks nice, doesn't it? Really happy with how everything turned out here. Isn't that lovely? Look at that. Oh. Alright, so we'll let this dry overnight, and then we will start assembling this thing probably tomorrow, or if I let it sit out in the sun for a while, maybe it'll get dry. So, isn't that lovely?
Oh, I have to admit, I usually pee on your parade, but this looks actually fan-flippin-tastic.
Alright, now it is time to start the assembly. Woohoo! Now, originally, we're going to start an armrest. Originally, this metal was just attached with no type of sealer or anything in between. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some, it's a DAP brand silicone. It's like an indoor-outdoor silicone. I think it's for window trim and, outside window trim and things like that. And so what this will do is effectively seal out all the water that could possibly get in between the metal, and hopefully that will inhibit the formation, or at least stave off for a good time being any rust that would form in between the metal, between the skin and the frame of the chair. So I'm just spreading this liberally in there, and then I'm going to squish the metal bracket onto the metal. There, now the holes line up. There's an extra hole there. I think it's for the piece that goes on the line. We'll find out. So I'm adding the screws that we purchased, and later what I found out was that these weren't actually stainless screws. So I was at the hardware store with, took my kid with me. She was throwing a fit, and I'll blame it on her. And I accidentally bought steel screws, and I thought these are all stainless screws. And I found out about this all the way at the end of the project, and I was not about to take all those screws out to replace them with stainless, partly because when you use the silicone, all the screw nuts and bolts were basically sealed into place. So if I would have took all those screws out to replace them, then it would have broken the watertight seal. So so later what I do with these is I actually paint over them with a little tiny artist brush. You'll see that later. But this was a long process of adding all the hardware, and as you remember all those rivets I drilled out in the previous, and so just gonna go through here one by one and put this bugger all back together. It's like Humpty Dumpty.
Oh my goodness, I'm falling asleep here. This is like watching Malkin try to score a goal when Sidney Crosby's playing on the ice. My goodness, let's speed this up.
Okay, and I'm just going to go back here and add some silicone into the exposed cracks that I can see, and just to make sure it's fully filled in so water cannot ingress into between that. So I can put a little bead across here, just like a cock in a bathtub, you know? Splendid! And I'm going to clean up my little mess. Just keep on going, you know, making a lot of progress without doing the other side. Once you get done with this side will be done. I'll hang this bugger up and start working on the other side. I don't think I'll show the other side since it's the same thing, right? Just kind of recaulk this up. So ready to go, and then we'll clean up my mess, hang this on the wall, and then we'll start on the other stuff. This is getting exciting, isn't it? Almost there. I'm going to do the same as the other one. I'm going to put down some silicone and then lock that into place with the nuts and bolts. So let's get the silicone. Now we had several of these little bolts here, and then we'll add them later. They'll go in specific spots on the seat and on the backer, and that's how the sides attach. That little eye bolt thingy, or the eye hole, goes right where the screw goes right through there, and you put the nut, and that's how the side attaches. There is, I believe, one on the back and two on the bottom, or vice versa, something like that. But I think it's one on the back, two on the bottom. It doesn't seem like a lot, but it holds it all together in some miraculous way.
Somebody get that man a fire hose. His shirt's all soaked with sweat.
I forgot to do something. I forgot there was an extra hole here. There's the new metal. And I also forgot to ground these sections flush. So when I put that on there, see, it's going to hit that flashing. So I'm going to have to get the grinder. Grind that flush, then mark it and drill new holes right there. So I might be delayed a day because I want to have that paint dry overnight. So it happens. And bugger it up. Mark it up with Sharpie. And buggers up. Mark that with Sharpie. Line those buggers up. So, I gotta drill these holes. I forgot all about that. But that's alright. I go back and then I patch these up anyways with some paint. And didn't hurt anything. Just set me back another, I'd say, half hour to mark all those holes and then drill them all out and clean them up and repaint. Then I had that wait a couple hours for them to dry before proceeding. So, it's always something, And here I'm just putting the paint on there. And luckily this was paint plus primer, even though I did prime before. So I just said, I'm on the home stretch here. I got to get this done. And of course, it's the same process as the other ones. Put on the silicone so everything is sealed. you're getting there. These two joints on the bottom there, get these two buggers. And these little side bolts, I'm reusing them. I wire brushed them, they're in good shape. They were a little rusty, but I got them wire brushed.
And now the most exciting part ever! Dun, 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 dun. I'm gonna start putting these together without dropping them. Is he gonna drop it? Whoa! And here we go. I'm putting the backer on finally. Or the back to the chair. We are almost there. Will I get it done in this episode? Find out later. Or find out next week when... I'm just kidding. We are going to finish this chair on this video. This is the last installment. Woohoo! So stay tuned. Don't fast forward for the big reveal. It'll be coming up in a few minutes. Almost there. So, you know, adding the hardware, getting this to line up, getting this to tighten up, you know. Hey, almost there. Doesn't this look lovely? Doesn't this is when it flips over and falls on the floor. Oh, isn't it starting to look fantastic? Oh, so now I gotta carefully put the sides on without scratching the paint. Better said than done, right? Oh, it's on. Yoo! It is on. Look at that.
So I got the other eyelet bolt.
That's his little. You know, the screw goes through there, you bolt it on there, then you got a stud, and then you put that through the hole on the side rail, and that's how you get those attached. I'm surprised there's only 3 of these holding everything on, but hey, you know, it worked. It worked out very splendidly, actually. Oh yeah, doesn't that look great? I mean, that's pretty awesome. I like it when, you know, that the hard work you put into something and you get close to the end of a project and it all starts coming together. It gives you that good feeling inside. Hey, you know, you did this yourself. You know, you didn't buy it at the store. You know, you made it yourself, or you restored it yourself. Something that was being thrown away by somebody. That's just great. It's just gonna go on living a lot of extra years. Like I said, I did not use stainless screws here. I would in a future project, so I had to go through and paint them all. And as you can see, I just used a little brush and some of the spray paint in a cup. And there we go. It came out. Look how nice that is. Like I said, I had to paint the bolts. It did actually look better when they were silver, but they would rust over time, so we had to get those painted over. And I spray painted, touch painted them on the back rather than painting with a brush, since you're really not going to see that. And it did blend really well, so you didn't even notice. So everything's coated, painted. Isn't this awesome? I just think it looks so great from what it looked like before. came out way better than I thought it would. I imagined it would be nice, but not this nice. And just awesome. And yeah, look at that. So my mother came down, and she had a seat on it. So I got one quick picture of them. My mom's in the middle with my aunt, and there's my daughter, and they were trying it out. So I threw it in the back of the truck, and then took it up to my mom's house. And this is now sitting on her patio, and just really awesome project. And I was just really fulfilling to work on this. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this. If you like these projects and other projects, please subscribe for more of these awesome videos. Make some comments, let me know what you think, and have a great day.